Nearly 1 year ago today, George Floyd was killed by former Minnesota police officer Derek Chauvin. The video of his death has been seen all over the world. It sparked protests and intensified social movements. Iowa was hit with calls for justice, policy changes, and in many communities, trauma from the optics of this video. Tonight, KCCI's Rhea Spigner takes a look at the social progression of Iowa in the present and future.
Imagine a place of true equal opportunity, leaders of color, wealth no matter your race or creed. This utopia existed right in Buxton, Iowa in the late 1800s.
In the middle of farmland, you literally had this town where blacks and whites were living together, and blacks were treated equal, and they were leaders in the community. They were doctors and lawyers and dentists and pharmacists and justices of the peace, in addition to being miners and business owners.
Rochelle Chase, author of Creating the Black Utopia of Buxton, Iowa, wrote about this mining community. It was a town that understood the importance of equity during a time of extreme racism. Everything from loans to leadership positions were given equally. Buxton was a town that embodied much of the rights that Black people are fighting for today, intensified by the death of George Floyd.
A lot of these things like affirmative action and these things that Black people are given to level the playing field, people look at that like a handout. When if you knew the history, if you knew that redlining and these things were conscious efforts to keep Black people in certain things, and we're still getting over that.
And from a town we can learn from to a growing city, Des Moines has been working toward more social progress after the wake-up call of George Floyd. Equity strategist Abina Imhotep recently took the TEDx stage and addressed the acknowledgement of equity as the bike lane finally getting noticed.
The challenge is, as majority culture drivers on the road of society, can we pay attention to the margins? Can we look to our left or to our right and see the bike lane? Be careful on the road. Be mindful of those other people, because people exist and live in those spaces.
And as Abina fights for knowledge in all communities to create better understanding, she's hyper-focused on a change that can happen right now.
In the wake of the aftermath of George Floyd's murder, we're still in that aftermath. The thing that we're going to see make the most difference for communities of color in general and Black people in particular are going to be economics. So I am a proponent of Black-owned businesses, entrepreneurship, investments, financial literacy. Those are the things that are going to make the biggest difference for us. We can have the social gains and the political gains that we've been having, but without the economic component, support, and structure, we don't really have the freedom that we're so desperately crying out for.
As calls grow louder and the demand for justice and knowledge does too, what will the future hold for Iowa? Cameron Middlebrooks also brought it back to Buxton. He says a glimpse of the past is a good example for the future.
When folks moved from Buxton to Des Moines, Iowa in the 1920s, they said it was like going 100 years back in time.
One of those folks, his grandfather, who migrated from Buxton to Des Moines, passing on generational knowledge and leadership. Cameron has been a strong advocate in marginalized communities for years. So when the video of George Floyd surfaced,
as a Black man, personally, it was tough to see again.
As Cameron put it, out of tragedy comes an opportunity.
We started this process a few years ago with the Civil Rights Commission with Bridging the Gap initiative, where we brought community together to talk about to have a solution-oriented conversation. That's something we need to do again, right? Right now, I think a lot of the focus is just on police. You hear terms thrown around like defund the police, things of that nature. But I don't think we can simply focus just on the police. We have a lot of systems that are in place that are burdensome to people of color or marginalized communities. And that comes in the forms of economics, that comes in the forms of housing, it also comes in the forms of better relationship with our police department and other city officials.
And as the fight for equity moves forward, many continue to remember the names to remind them of what they're fighting for. I'm Rhea Spigner for KCCI 8 News.